Well, I'm actually out here with the Yukon, and one of the motivators for me to get this thing charged is the simple ability to park it on the street. So if you're not inspected, you cannot park it on the street. So it's now December 21st, 2020. As you can see, my inspection is actually expired. So we are going to try to crank this thing, and you'll see I've been watching these videos about the battery. Now I know that the battery is already dead because AutoZone said that the battery is bad. So you hear this? Nothing. Y'all heard that? So the battery's completely dead. But that's normal whenever I actually come and get this car because I don't really drive it that much. Um, so it's dead a lot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use one of these videos that I've seen about reviving the battery and see if that can help get my car get my car uh battery revived without having to buy one. Now I've seen the prices. The prices about like even for a 2-year warranty about 100. I think the best I heard was 129, 139, 159 from for a 3-year warranty. So I believe in those. I've gotten some good life on this battery, so that's a real good thing. Like even the battery that I have in here is way back from 2015. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to even have a battery last that long. But if I can get more time, and the thing that's even cool about that is even though I got the battery in 2015, even though I got the battery in 2015, that's actually a warranty claim that started in 2013. So right now I'm at 7 years on paying for this single battery. So got the battery in 2013. There was an issue with it, so I took it back to AutoZone. Got the warranty, and once I got the warranty, that was a brand new battery in 2015, and I've had it working all the way till now. Like I said, I really don't drive it that much. As you can see here, um, one of the things that's interesting is it's a Duralized. Uh, I don't know all the details, but 75 SDLG. So shout out to them for having a pretty solid battery for 3 years. But like I say, I do not drive it much. So we're gonna see if we can get this thing revived. I've heard about Distilled this and trickle charge that. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna try to see if I can record some of these things and see if it's gonna work out. So we shall see. All right, you all can see that this is technically one of those batteries that's deemed unserviceable. So we'll see if we really can get this thing. It's a side post, so we'll see if we can get it serviced. So there we go. All right, so about this part right here, this Dear Last Gold battery. I want to believe that since it's a little bit wet, that's kind of the sign of where the serviceable part is. I should be able to just pop this top part off and see if I can go into that. So I'm not sure if it's considered a serviceable, a non-serviceable, but at the end of the day, I do have protection on my eyes. You can see everybody these days have some form of a face mask. So this is my plastic face mask, with the sides. So this is actually my mask for my thing. So, but I'm gonna add a little bit of extra protection with these as well. So now I'm gonna have these on the inside of this so you can kind of see what it looks like. So just so you all get a chance to see. So I'm having extra protection. I got the coverage from the shades as well as the goggles. So, and of course it's closed in. Of course it got this yellow hue, but it totally are some pretty good shades. So anyway, and of course got the gloves. Um, for this part, I'm gonna put this glove on, but of course my camera is kind of hard to touch since it is my cell phone that I'm using. So either way, let's go to the video. So I'm gonna try to use this and pop this side off. Pop this side off. Use the hand. Put my glove on first. And so, but yeah, I have the tools. I have the bucket that I'm gonna pour All right, so this is what we got going on. I got the gloves on both hands, and so now I'm trying to see if I can pop this little side off. You know, uh, if I just pull it off. But yeah, I could tell that it actually was totally something that was yeah, you saw it move a little bit right there. Yeah, there we go. And so that part pops off. I'm gonna break my screwdriver. These little screwdrivers are the ones I have for like small items or whatever. Top this side off. You know. Now I got that under there. But I see what it is. Because these little catches on here that kind of pop in. There we go. And now we should be able to get it all up. Potentially even go on the other side and do the same thing. Like I told y'all. That's the one thing I was trying not to do with those little small screwdrivers. Now, truth be told, I got some other ones. See what I did to my screwdriver? Little small screwdriver. But it did the job for a little bit. So now I'm just gonna get my other little screwdriver and pull it up. You know? So now you got this one. Should be able to just pop it up much easier. So there we go. Maybe I should have just used that in the first place. So even though this is a Duralast, it actually does say it can pop off. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pour this one. I'm gonna pour all this stuff in this bucket. All right, just like it says. I'm not sure if you can see. It got water in them. I don't know if you can see that, but it got some water in them. But I'm gonna pour this in here, just like the video say. So just like the video said, I'm gonna pour this in here. See how it work out. I don't know if you can tell, but some of that is coming in a little pretty dark. So I'm letting that drain right quick. You can see that's a 115, so that means that this battery was basically, in so many words, created in 115, so January 2015. So it's a pretty good old battery. So pause real quick. All right, well, there is all the stuff that came out of the inside. Since it's a black bucket, you can't really tell just how dirty it is, but it was brown when it was coming out. So now my challenge is to take this distilled water. Matter of fact, notice the word distilled. No shout out to CVS, but I just went in there, got it real quick, $1.59. So if this works, that'll be basically a beautiful thing, because the battery that I was going to purchase is $1.59. So pretty much I'm trying to do this without spilling too much water, but unfortunately I just realized that this thing right here doesn't have the biggest the best connection on it, but the hole is bigger than the funnel is big. Holes is bigger than the other part, so I'm gonna still try to work it out. So here we go. Let's see how I can try to film this with one hand. You know what I mean? Wasting water. So we going in there. I'm wasting some distilled water. That's gonna prove to be negative for me later on, because I'm not gonna put as much as they put in on the video. So shake it up real quick. See if it's getting some of the gook out. I purposely brought a few containers to get the water, but of course black on black ain't gonna work. So I brought this orange paint container so I can kind of shake it up. I think I need to pour more in there than that. That ain't gonna work. So I'm just gonna freehand it, see if I can get it in the holes. That's actually way better than what I was using the funnel. You know what I mean? Than what I was using the funnel. Now I'm gonna have to figure out a better system than when I'm pouring the acid back into it. So that's one rinse. Just gonna see. That's the distilled water. Ain't that what they said? Just shake it up. Shake it up. Let some of that distilled water get on there. I think that's a good shaking, right? Pretty good shake. All right, let's see how bad it look whenever it's pouring out. I'm just gonna pour it in, just like I did the last one. Look how black that water is. It's pretty bad. So maybe this is cleaning something, right? It's pretty black water. We're about to see. It's pretty black, as you can see. I think the goal is for this stuff to be clear. So, all right, well, we're gonna pause again and come back to y'all so I can do this. But you can see that water is real black coming out of there. So I'm assuming it's supposed to be pretty clear. So we'll see. We'll see if this distilled water is gonna help clean some of that other sediment out. All right, there we go. All right, so one of the challenges I had before was pouring the water without trying to waste it, since I only had like 1 gallon of distilled water. You can see I'm a little bit under a half of the distilled water from the second one. And just so you all can kind of see, like I'm shaking it up again, this is the second amount of water that I put in there. Second amount of distilled water that I poured in there. And just so you can kind of get a comparison, I'm gonna dump this old distilled water in that bucket right there. But look at all that black soot, or whatever that is, that sediment. So you can tell. But what I'm gonna try to do, the hope is that I'll be able to use some of, be able to show you a comparison of maybe it's getting better with the second rinse. So that's what the whole point of me dumping that into that bucket right there. So let's see. I switched it around. I probably could. I'm being real. Unfortunately, I'm not being too generous. I'm being a little conservative since I only had 1 gallon. Trust me, I wanted to get 2 gallons, but they only had 1 thing of distilled water at the spot. So let's see how it's gonna work out, y'all. Let's see if this is gonna make it a little bit better. See if it's just as black. If it's just as black. Oh wow, that ain't what I wanted to do. I broke the thing. Well, oh snap. That's definitely not what I wanted to do. But if you can see, it's got a little lighter, but it's still pretty bad. Broke my board, broke my paint thing at the back part. I guess I should have dropped it too hard. But you can see, I could probably do. It could probably use a little bit better rinsing, even more, maybe one more round. Honestly, probably a couple more rounds, to be honest with you. Dump the water in there, rinse it around, switch it around, and get that water a little bit clearer. All right, on to the next. Paulton. All right, so you can see a little bit of the sediment still on there, but I will say that's a little bit, so it's a little bit thinner than it was on the last one. So I put some more distilled water in there, so it's the third rinse. But like I say, I'm being real conservative on the amounts, as I only have just that amount left. And for what I stand on the video, I'm supposed to, for what I understand on the video, I'm supposed to be able to, put some of that after I fill the original acid back into the battery. So we'll see. And all right, so we about to see if we can do this without damaging the pan again. So I'm gonna put it down there, tilt it down this time, and see how it works. So let's see. So there we go. You can see the water is about to come out, but it ain't coming out just yet. So let's see how it works. That's a real good idea. Let's turn it back upside down. On this, I'm trying to film at the same time of actually holding the camera. So fun times, right? Put it on the edge, float it over, and now I can turn it completely upside down. That water's still pretty dark, man. Oh, it's really dark. So some people say use Epsom salt to get it all cleaned out, and some just use distilled water. So I'm just using the method of just the distilled water for right now. And it's with batteries. Like I say, it's not a truck that I use all the time anyway. So at the end of the day, I actually got time to try multiple things. Especially since this part really ain't that expensive. So there we go. That actually seemed to be the easiest one. To do in the effort of holding the camera. But you can see my little crack leaking some of the water outside. So that was fun. Oh well. You can see this is still pretty dirty. And that's just straight. So one would assume that it's doing something, you know. It's doing something, but now you can tell. Now when I pour this out, you're gonna be able to tell. Like before, it was like some thick substance. Pretty thick still. But like when I did it the first time, it was a whole bunch of thick stuff at the bottom then. So I will tell you this much, man. It's pretty dark in there. So I'm not sure. It's gonna be a lot more water in there to clear it out than that. So for right now, since I'm only got one thing of distilled water, you can see that's how much I got left, and I need that to put it back into the battery. I'm gonna go ahead and put the battery the this back into the thing. I have some paper to kind of filter some of. I have this to kind of filter some of that out, some of the sediment out, and we're gonna put it right back into the battery. So stay tuned for that next one. All right. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put the acid back into the battery, and I'm gonna prop this phone up so we can kind of see if there's a way for me to do it with one hand, two hands. I'm gonna need both hands for this. So the acid's in here in that bucket. I'm gonna see if I got the little filter. I got the paper in there to kind of filter any additional sediment in there. And I'm gonna try to see if I can get this thing, pour this in here with minimal mess. You know what I mean? And I'm already struggling. You know what I mean? Already struggling. So we are about to see we can do it. All right, so still in the mask, of course. But one thing that I didn't realize is that, well, I eventually realized that this battery doesn't have any studs. So to actually charge this in a more traditional fashion, I literally had to literally put it back into the car just to charge it. Now, the one thing that is interesting is that I believe that I actually did make a difference automatically, because this battery coming from jump at 10 had gone all the way down to 0. Okay, gone all the way down to 0 at 10 amps. At 10 amps, and even after charging it for 12 hours or so, it'll go right back down to 0. So I would like to say it's automatically better. Now I'm putting on AGM. I don't think that makes a difference. And if I put it on 2 amps, it actually had originally gone up to as high as 75. So I thought that was very interesting as well. So now that is on 2 amps, I'm gonna do what the video says, and do what the video says, and do it for overnight. It's about 5 o'clock right now, so I'm gonna charge it until then, maybe 24 hours. See what happens. Hopefully nobody steal my charger. So, well, decent amount of stuff. So now I'm just gonna get rid of some of the distilled water that I had, and check this thing tomorrow. Well, it's the next day, and we actually out here trying to see if the truck is gonna hold its charge or the battery's gonna hold its charge.
Don't ask.
The challenge is that you see this right here. She having fun.
It's not please.
So it actually does say full charge. I don't know if you can zoom in and focus on that. Yeah, there we go. Nice little focus, but if you'll notice, it actually will be on the charge, full charge, and then it will dance down. You see that? It'll go on and off. It'll go on and off. So fortunately, the battery is on, but the thing that matters, of course, is does the car start? So stay tuned for that. It look like you ain't gonna never knock this out because you just wild right now.
Boom!
Okay, I didn't catch it on film. I got that one though. Hit you in the face. Oh, right at 57 seconds.
57?
Well, if you wanted to kind of see what the sidewalk looked like after the acids on it, those white stains are pretty much an indication of what acid will look like on the sidewalk, pretty much. You see them white? So, maybe it'll wash off. Now, in contrast, all this white stains right here, I did a jack-o'-lantern right here, and I don't know if you see this. Years ago. So is the same thing in jack-o'-lanterns? The same thing that's in our battery? What? Well, people, it's a full charge even though it's still dancing. So I figured let me just go ahead and try to see if it works. We're going to have the true reveal. It looked like it's a full charge. I don't know why it's not focusing. But either way, there it goes. See, it's a full charge. It says it. So we got Kevin here. He gonna witness the greatness or the lack thereof. So we about to see if the true test, if it worked. Boom. I don't think it's gonna work. Oh my God. Oh my God, it actually worked. Oh my God. It worked. Remember, that's a trickle charge. Oh, okay. I might be a believer. People. And so out there, you see Kevin with me. He got his mask on, keep it safe, keep it a social distance. Not really. But that has not happened, and I definitely did more than overnight charged with the previous battery, with the battery without doing the work that I had done, and it actually crunked this time. So previous charges did not give me the results that I just got. So this car just crunked. So I guess we'll have to test it out a few more times to see if it'll crank later on. So we'll stick around for that. All right, good stuff, y'all. All right, well, the true test was working. The car crunk up. That's the best test that I can ever even ask for. But now the true test is, will it crank up by itself without the battery being connected? Remember, I was just doing a trickle charge, but this is the first time. So we're gonna kill it. Let's see what it'll do. So we're gonna kill it. See if it'll crank up by itself again. Oh my God. Oh my God, that thing crunk up again. This is something that did not happen before, guys. When I say this didn't happen, this did not happen before. We actually went to the tree. I knew the battery had died, which is normal because I don't drive it that much. So I gave it a 50 amp charge just to crank it up. and usually it'll charge up and I'm good to go for another 2 weeks, right? Without having to charge it again. But this time I took it to the tree farm, we cut the tree down, and we drove straight there. And then when I came out to leave, the car wouldn't crank. So we actually cranked it back up with a boost. Drove it to AutoZone near the Christmas tree farm. They tested the battery. Battery was dead. They say bad battery. And then, of course, they jumped me off. But it was crazy because I was still able to drive the car, I guess running on an alternator or whatever the case may be. And then came all the way here, killed it, won't crank again. So now, for it to crank by itself a second time is a huge milestone. So you never know, we might be able to go ahead and get that inspection done today. We might have to get that inspection done after everything resets. So, all right, shout out to I think it was Sweet. It wasn't, I forget who it was. Sweet Car Projects, and it was another one who really actually kind of convinced because he was working on a service. He did a good job as well. And be mindful, this is not Epsom salt. This is 100% just distilled water, no Epsom salt, anything like that. So strictly distilled water, shook it around, poured it out, put the other one back in, and we good to go. All right, y'all be blessed. Have a good one.